Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Sport Special. The Poor 7 Travelers, part 2. Let me see. I had counted from the street 6 upper windows beside this on the ground story, making a perplexed calculation in my mind. I rejoined. Then the 6 poor travelers slipped upstairs. My new friend shook her head. They sleep, she answered, in two little outer galleries at the back, where their beds has always been ever since the charity was founded. It being so very ill convenient to me as thing is at present. The gentlemen are going to take off a bit of the backyard and make a slip of room from him there to sit in before they go to bed. And then 6 poor travelers said, I will be entirely out of the house. Entirely out of the house, assented the presence comfortably, smoothing her hands, which is considered much better for all parties and much more convenient. I had been a little startled in the cathedral by the emphasis with which the effigy of Master Richard Watts was bursting out of his thumb. But I began to think now that it might be expected to come across the high street some stormy night and make a disturbance here. However, I kept my thoughts to myself and accompanied the presents to the little galleries at the back. I found them on the tiny scale, like the galleries in the old inn yards, and they were very clean. While I looking at them, the matron gave me understand the prescribed number of poor travelers will forthcoming every night from year's end to year's end, and that bed were always occupied. My question upon this and her replies brought us back the boardroom so essential in the dignity of the gentleman, where she showed me the printed accounts of the charity hanging up the window. From I gathered the greater part of the property bequeathed by the worshipful Master Richard Watts for the maintenance of this foundation was at period of his death mere marshland, but then in course of time it had been reclaimed and built upon. In the inscription over the door, the best being handsomely led out of the chancery law expenses, colorship, receivership, poundage, and other appendages of management highly complimentary to the importance of the 6 poor travelers. In short, I made not entirely new discovery that it may be said an establishment like this in dear old England, as the fat oyster the American story, that it takes a good many men to swallow it whole. And pray, ma, my arm said I, sensible that the blankness of my face began to brighten as the thought occurred to me. Could one see these travelers? Well, she returned dubiously. No, not tonight. For instance, said I. Well, she returned more positively. No, nobody ever asked to see them, and nobody ever did see them. As I am not easily backed in design when am set upon it. I argued to the good lady that this was Christmas even that Christmas comes but once a year, which is unhappily too true, for when it begins stay with us the whole year round, we shall make this earth a very different place. That I was proceed by the desire to treat the travelers to a supper and temperate glass of hot was it that the voice of fame had been heard in that land, declaring my ability to make host vessel, that if I were permitted to hold the feast, I should be found comfortably to reason, sobriety, and good hours. In a word, that I could be merry and wise myself, and had been even known at a pinch to keep others so. Although I was decorated with no badge or medal, and was not a brother, orator, apostle, saint, or prophet of any denomination whatever, in the end I prevailed to my great joy. It was settled that 9 o'clock that night a turkey and a piece of roast beef should smoke upon the board, and that I find an unworthy minister for once, Master Richard Watts, should preside as the Christmas supper host of the six poor travelers.